What's up, all? Welcome to episode 73 of Talk Wrestling here on the premier website in the world for wrestling, owned by everybody's favorite guy and mine, Noah Donish. Of course, I'm talking about NoDQ.com. You can also see us on YouTube, MySpace, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. We are everywhere, as always. Thank you all for tuning in last week. For those of you that continue to stay with the show, I really appreciate that. I really do. Despite all the controversy, we are still here. The road to SummerSlam has begun. Night of Champions was this last weekend. Decent pay-per-view, I thought. It could have been better, could have been worse, as all WWE pay-per-views have been lately. Hopefully SummerSlam is much, much better than it has been in the last couple years. Because SummerSlam has sucked the last couple years, if I recall correctly. Apparently, Noah still seems to think I'm going to be at SummerSlam or show up there and have a fight with him. Dude, I'm not going to fight you. I'm done with that. You bought the website, you won, dude, okay? You win. I'm not going to beat you up. Just chill. It's okay. I'm doing my show, I got control of my show, I'm a happy camper. Just relax. Sanka. Something. Cool out. Okay? Alright. 10 more questions, this time from the Yahoo archives of my emails. Your questions right now. Let's get to it. Alright, I'm going to butcher this name. This is from India, and I apologize. Srikanith Srinivasan. That's a hell of a name. Great fan of the show, but you seem to be doing Q&A sessions only. Why not review some wrestling DVDs or pay-per-views? That way you can bring something new to the show. That's a good idea. I like that. What are you doing? Walking around like a maniac. I might start doing that. You know what? Matter of fact, I'll tell you what. On this show's comment board on YouTube or on MySpace, wherever you see this, list what DVD you want to see on Talk Wrestling reviewed, and I will do that. If I have it, I'll review it. I'll have the DVD right here. If not, if I haven't seen it, I'll try to get a copy of it from somebody, and I can review it that way. If I don't have it, if I haven't seen it, then I'll pick a different one. But I'll try. I'll do my best. Pay-per-views, I'll probably do that starting with SummerSlam. Because SummerSlam's supposed to be either really good or really bad. You know, SummerSlam, you never know. This is from Brian Leon. Well, Jeff, you asked for any questions and I shall provide. Who do you think is the best tag team in the Indies currently? In my head, it's a three-way tie between the Young Bucks, the Dark City Fight Club, Ring of Honor, and the Osirian Portal of Chikara. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. I don't watch Chikara. I think the Bucks are a good candidate. The Bucks are a phenomenal tag team. Any tag team in PWG, I think, would be a good candidate. But you've also got great teams in Epic War, too. You've got the Negro Division. You've got Violence Unlimited. You've got High Society. Several teams in High Society, including Legacy, including Friends Forever. Great teams coming out of Epic War, out of PWG, out of the West Coast. And the Bucks are in Ring of Honor now. The Bucks are doing Dragon Gate. The Bucks have been all. So the Bucks, I think, are my top pick. Thank you for that. And what's the best indie tag team of all time? It's hard to argue against the Bucks, but the Briscoes are a good team. Up there, yeah, the Briscoes would be a top candidate, I think. This is another foreign question. This is from Norway, and this is from Hakon Hagen. Which finishers do you think are the most powerful and which are overrated? I kind of agree with what he said as far as the powerful ones. Can't go wrong with the Tombstone Pile Driver dropping a guy on his head. That's pretty cool. Same with the Canadian Destroyer Pile Driver. That's an awesome, powerful move. As far as the overrated ones, kind of sick of the pedigree. That's old. It's done. It's been done for 14 years. I mean, yeah, the Tombstone's been done for 20 years, almost. But, you know, Tombstone is a powerful pile driver. Pedigree You know, sometimes looks really bad, sometimes looks really good. So, RKO is pretty overrated, I think. The Attitude Adjustment is overrated, except unless he gets like a really big guy up there, like the Big Show, then it's cool. But like just a typical wrestler, not so much. This is from Mackie. What are your opinions on Austin Aries becoming the first ever 2-time Ring of Honor World Champion in the company's 7-year history? Do you think it affects the prestige of the title? I don't. I think Austin Aries being the champion is not going to affect the prestige of the championship, and I'll tell you why. He was the guy that ended the 645-day reign of Samoa Joe. He is the guy that toppled Samoa Joe and put him under for the first time between March of 03 and December of 04. Nobody could touch Joe, and Austin Aries was the guy to do it. Pardon me. But other guys have held that championship too. You got Low Key, Joe, Punk, Jamie Noble, American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, Homicide, Nigel McGuinness, Jerry Lynn. The prestige of the championship is in place. That title is a very prestigious world title. And somebody being 2-time champion is not going to affect the value of that championship, in my opinion, at all. As a matter of fact, I think Austin Aries being the champion just shows that anything can happen in Ring of Honor, even somebody being a 2-time world champion. And I think that's a great thing for Ring of Honor. I think it's a great thing for the company to show that they can bring somebody back and have somebody be a 2-time champion. That's freaking awesome. Thank you for that. This one is from Rich. Hi Jeff, I've been watching Epic War videos on artoflifestudios.com and was wondering how you got involved with the company and how would somebody go about getting their start as a manager. I started with Epic War when they were running out here close to me in Newhall at the American Legion Hall. And I had known Gary before that. Gary had us come down and do XMV down when Pro Wrestling War was still around, which was 4 years ago, when they were at their height. We did a couple XMVs down there. And we interviewed a few people down there when PWG ran down there too. But Gary was down there. We knew him from there. And I got involved just by being at the shows. And Gary knows that I had to do a show. And he wanted to capitalize on my online following. So we decided to put something together where I would be a manager. And I ended up co-managing the champion, Marcus Wright, along with Gary. And Teddy Hart as well, and I managed Biggie Biggs for a match against Joey Ryan. I did some refereeing, did some sales, not really sales, but like merchandise sales at the show themselves. Then I went away for a while, and then I went to go back, and Gary said, "Well, I can sit in the audience," and I went, "No." So I talked to his partner, Anthony Maris, the co-owner of Epic War, and now I'm the spokesman, head cheerleader, roadie, whatever you want to call me, for High Society. And I'm having a great time doing that, working with Tim Donst and Jason Strife and Legacy, the original Legacy, not Randy Orton and his guys. I'm talking about Devin Sparks, Rick Ellis, and the wildcard champion, James Stafford. Devin, of course, is a West Coast champion. And myself and Anthony as well in that group. I'm having a great time doing that. Probably the most fun I've had with Epic War since I started with Epic War a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Good times. As far as getting your start there, train. Because I didn't, and I'm paying for it now by being somewhat hurt. Train your butt off and get yourself in wrestling shape. And then if you want to work for Epic War, you have to kind of be here in Southern California. It's hard to, unless you're like a superstar like Tim Donst or another guy who's going to fly in, then you need to be here to get noticed. And you have to work your way up. This is from Ron J. Recently you mentioned something about CM Punk and not caring for him too much because of how he was or something. Just curious as to what you were referencing. He seems like a cool guy to me, not to mention a talented wrestler as can be. Thing with Punk, Goes back about 5 years now. 5 years last month, so June of 04. Lee and I, everybody remembers Lee from XMV. My best friend, I was best man at his wedding. Gotta love Lee. We were at a PWG show at the Santa Ana Elks Lodge, and one of the matches of the night was CM Punk, a blonde heel CM Punk, versus Steve Corino, former ECW champion. Back when ECW was still good. And Punk's attitude, heel or not, toward the fans was very disrespectful. He came off very, just, very full of his own crap, I thought. Just very into himself, very holier than thou, I guess would be a proper term. He just didn't come off as very nice. You had other guys that were heels the other night that were still signing autographs and taking pictures and everything like that, and Punk didn't want anything to do with it. Punk wanted nothing to do with any of that. He was just being aloof and very into himself and kind of like whatever toward everybody. Fans, wrestlers, everybody. So, he's a dick. That's just my opinion. Sorry. I don't like him. This is from Justin Nusser. Do you think the idea of 2 top titles in WWE is a good idea? Or do you think WWE should go back to 1 top title like TNA has? What are your views on which style is better in your opinion? For WWE, having the top titles on each brand is better if they're going to continue with the brand extension, which they are. They're not going to stop that. So having a world title for each company, yes, ECW is a world title. I still say that to this day. Having 3 top titles is the way to go. For TNA, they have 1 show that's national every week on Spike. So having 1 world title is the best thing for them. There is no right or wrong answer. It's whatever suits the company better. And for WWE, they have 3 brands. They need a top title for each brand for the brand superstars to chase after. So having the WWE, the World, and the ECW championships is the best way to go for them. Like I said, for TNA, they have 1 show a week. So for them, the best way to go is the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. 1 title, 1 company. Man, 1 bird flying overhead, making noise. We went a show and a half, man. Show and a half. That noise. I'm so mad. Oh well. Yeah, there's no. My views are they both work for the company that they're suited for. There's no right or wrong answer. It's from Matthew Dunn. Who is your favorite GM or commissioner or whatever in the WWF WWE? Well, it's hard to argue against Mick Foley. I always like Commissioner Foley. General manager wise, I would have to go with Stephanie McMahon on SmackDown. She was a great general manager for that brand. Nobody did better than her since then. Not even Teddy Long. On the Raw side, you got to go with Eric Bischoff. Can't argue against that at all. Although Seth Green gave him a run for his money, didn't he? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Bischoff the top guy on Raw. Stephanie the top person on SmackDown. ECW. Teddy Long. Yeah, Teddy Long. Armando was ridiculous. Tiffany is ridiculous now. Teddy Long's the man. He's a great general manager. There's no doubting that. But Stephanie was better when she was general manager of SmackDown. But he was a good ECW general manager. And what else? Regal was a good commissioner, but Foley was better, I thought. Yeah. Shawn Michaels was an okay commissioner. Not as good as Foley. This one is from Mike Ford. Hey, Jeff, what is wrong with WWE when it comes to tag teams? I mean, getting rid of or splitting up teams like Deuce and Domino, Jesse and Festus, Kendrick and London, Cade Murdoch, Hawkins and Ryder, etc. These teams were good and were the face of tag team wrestling in WWE. Splitting up Hawkins and Ryder and giving Ryder some stupid hair-obsessed gimmick is stupid. Well, I agree with all those. I mean, all those teams are gone in some way or another, either split up or released. And not having them together and chasing the Unified Tag Team Champions is ridiculous. You need a solid tag team foundation to chase after the Unified Champions. And now Carlito and Primo are split up too. The only team that's still together, it looks like to me, is Legacy. And they seem to be doing okay for themselves. But yeah, I mean, Edge and Jericho were a team, and they're gone now because Edge is hurt, and Jericho pretty much denounced him and talked him down and told him off. So you've got Legacy and Crime Time. Let's have Crime Time be a tag team champion next. They're the only team left. Bad idea by WWE. Poor planning. Very poor planning. This is from Dan Pecholik. Sorry about that. How come WWE uses jobbers? For an example, Vladimir Kozlov was main eventing pay-per-views and had a few title shots against Triple H from what I remember. And then he was drafted to ECW. He did a few shows where he totally decimated some unknown wrestler. What is the purpose of this? I've always wondered that. In this day and age, that's a good point. There's no need to have a jobber, quote-unquote, be on a main event show. If you have a show like the original Superstars, or like Wrestling Challenge, or All American Wrestling, or Action Zone, or whatever shows they use to enhance the main talent, then you use the enhancement guys. Then you use the jobber guys. Then you use the guys that make the superstars look better. But having these 4 shows where it's all main eventers against all main eventers, there's no need for a local guy to be on the show at all. There's no need for that. Which, I hate to say that, I'm sorry, but, because then, Joey Ryan would be out of work in WWE, because I like seeing Joey on TV. I like seeing the Bucks on TV. I like seeing all these guys on TV. But there's no need for that. You're supposed to have the superstars against the superstars of the WWE. And to have them be against some local enhancement guy is kind of ridiculous. And I don't know why they do that. It's a very good question. You'll have to ask WWE that yourself, because I really don't know the answer to that. Alright, that's going to do it for episode 73 of Talk Wrestling here on the premier wrestling website in the world, owned by the king of internet media himself, everybody's favorite person on this planet, Noah Donish. My buddy. The guy who wants to fight me even though whatever. You win, dude. It's okay. You won the war, dude. You bought the website out from under Aaron and bought it out of my control. But I have control over the show. That's fine. I don't care who runs the website. As long as Aaron's here, filming the shows, editing the shows, posting the shows, I'm a happy boy. So it's okay. You can also find us on YouTube, MySpace, Twitter, and Facebook. We're all over the place. Next week, the road to SummerSlam continues. Hopefully we'll get some SummerSlam questions in. Hopefully we'll get some DVD review choices. I'll go over those. Pay-per-view review choices. I'll review some past pay-per-views if you want. And we'll see how things go for episode 73. And for the man himself, Aaron Rift. And for Noah. This is Jeff Meacham saying so long.